the greatest. I was lucky and privileged to spend 25 years with him in a broadcast booth, on an airplane, thank you so much, in a hotel, and one of the many great restaurants around the American League. Man, lucky, so did I. So did Kevin. Ate a lot of barbecue with him, huh, buddy? Dave taught us many things along the way, but two things really stood out. Be yourself and have fun. Back in that miracle run of 1995, he really had a chance to have some fun. With the bases loaded one game, Tino Martinez hit a home run. Kevin and I were waiting for that familiar fly away. But instead, Grandma showed up and made a sandwich. A salami sandwich. When Dave shouted, "Get out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma, it's grand salami time," Kevin and I looked at each other like, where the heck did that come from? Glad it came. But like most everything Dave said on the radio, it caught on like wildfire. For the next few weeks and months, fans were sending down sticks of salami in a string from the 300 level to the broadcast booth. They were sending down salami sandwiches, and I never went hungry for the next 2 months. By the way, whoever made those, hold the mail. But Dave carved his niche during the early days of the franchise. When the ball club was bad, Dave was at his best. It took 15 long seasons before the Mariners finally had their first winning season. And Dave made them not only bearable, but even enjoyable. Dave always told me it may be a bad game, but it doesn't have to be a bad broadcast. And as players would come and go, there was one constant, the man behind the microphone, Dave Niehaus. And when 95 came along, the rest of the baseball world finally discovered what we already knew here in the Pacific Northwest, that Dave was one of the greatest announcers of all time. Now, if there's any question about that, just take a little drive to upstate New York, to a little village of Cooperstown, and to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Because that's where you're going to find Dave with the likes of Vin Scully, Harry Callis, Red Barber, Mel Allen, Jack Brickhouse, and only 25 others. One thing about the great announcers, they never miss the great call. You've heard so many this afternoon, but the beauty of Dave was in the setup. Those words he chose to create the drama that was about to unfold. Those words that he chose to make those little hairs stand up on the back of your neck and they give you goosebumps. Before Edgar hit the double in Game 5 of the American League Division Series off of Jack McDowell, Dave said, and you heard it just a few minutes ago, the Mariners would love a hit into the gap, and with Junior speed, he can score from first base. Sure enough, Edgar hit that double, and Junior scored from first base with that winning run. Thank you, Edgar. When Edgar hit that double, I took off my headphones and started jumping up and down with 50,000 screaming fans in the Kingdom because I knew that moment was in great hands, and Dave nailed the most exciting moment in the history of this franchise. But Dave's greatest moment and achievement was the night as a young man he went to a party and met a young lady, and thus a beautiful relationship was born. Because Dave knew a good thing when he saw one. He started dating Marilyn, and eventually they got married. Thank God they did. You see, Dave was good at the setup. Wasn't he? And he didn't miss this great call. It was the best one of his life. Joining me on the field today is Dave's beautiful wife, Marilyn. They say behind every great man there is a greater woman, Marilyn, you surely are there. Marilyn, thank you for sharing your husband. I love you. Marilyn, thank you for sharing Dave with all of us throughout the Northwest for all these years. We all love you very much. I used to kid Marilyn at the end of every season. I spent, and Kevin, every day for 7 months with Dave, and at the end of the year, I'd look at Marilyn and I go, you do it.